Hey, good morning. How's everybody doing today? It is Tuesday. It is 10:30. This is Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. Tuesday Talks at 10:30, where we meet every Tuesday at 10:30 and we talk about things that maybe you're not comfortable in talking with other people about. This is a time that we get together and we talk about grief. We talk about oneness. We talk about coming back home. Things that allow our spirit, our energy to grow and to expand. And most importantly, to realize that you're not alone. It's that time, of the day on Tuesdays, it's once a week, where we are open to non-judgment. We are open to just allowing our minds, our spirit, our energy to be open to think about the what ifs, the I can't or I can't or I should or I shouldn't. It's that moment in time on Tuesdays where I feel guided to talk to you about things that are deep within my spirit, deep within my soul, that I feel like I need to share. So if you're on, just let me know that you're here. Say hi. If this is the first time you're on, put a 1 so that I can personally welcome you, and let me know where you're watching from. So like I said, this is Tuesday Talks at 10:30. And this is Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. My name is Stacy Niedenthal. I am a child of God. I'm an evidential medium, and I'm a spiritual healer. And I've been given a gift from God to channel spirit using love and light for my higher good and the higher good of those that God puts in my path. I'm not the medium that says, I see death all around you and you're going to be dead in 10 days. My gift, my prayer is that God, that spirit, that angels bring in the most loving message to help your spirit heal. Most people who come to me are either at a crossroads looking for direction or they want to connect with someone on the other side. My goal is to give you the evidence to let you know your loved one is still on the other side or is on the other side and is still around you in an energy form. So if you were to sit across from me during a reading, this is part of the intention that you would hear. But I always like to set it before I start because it's kind of like that light switch that I turn on to let my guides know that I'm open and ready to listen to what they have to say. So here we are again on a Tuesday at 10:30. July is almost over. Today is my granddaughter's 15th birthday. Happy birthday, Kaylee. Gosh, I can't believe that she's 15 already. It just seems like she was just born. But it's a day to celebrate. Every day is a day to celebrate something. So we've got a lot of exciting events that are coming up. And instead of me going over the events, I'm just going to direct you to my event page on the social medias, as well as on my website, connectingtospiritwithstacy.com. But there's galleries and there's groups, and we've got a book tour that's coming up that we're going to be hitting different areas, and those will be attached to gallery readings as well. So lots of great things that are going on and that are coming about that I'm very excited about. So, I hope you follow my journey with this book tour, that you were able to attend some of the events, and, you're watching, via social media or, the podcast or YouTube or however you find a way to Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. So today I want to talk to you about doubt versus fear. And Emile Cirion said, doubt works deep within you like a disease, or even more effectively, like faith. So when you think about doubt and when you think about faith, they're the total opposites. It's from one end of the spectrum to the other. You either fear something, you doubt it, or you have faith in that. So they kind of work hand in hand because they have that same general feeling over top of you. We start off as children doubting things, doubting that we'll work up to our full potential. We have doubts in the things that we're supposed to say and do. But there's also that curiosity behind it as we're growing and we're learning and we're living and we're having faith that we're doing the right thing. But when we have faith, nothing seems impossible. When we shed that doubt, nothing seems impossible. You have this naive sense of when you were a child, when you thought you could do anything or be anything in the world. You know, whether you think that you can be an astronaut or Wonder Woman, or, you know, you have all these visual fantasies and ideas of the things that you want to do. But then as you get older, you doubt your own abilities to accomplish them. You know, we learn lessons every single day. And the lessons sometimes make us stronger, sometimes make us weaker in thinking about what our abilities are. But when we think about what our direction in life is, don't we have to walk in faith, even if we may fear where we're going? You know, it's like I said, it's the same type of feeling. When you think about when you fear something or you're worried about something, you get this gnawing feeling in your gut. You have this anxiety in your gut. Well, when you get excited and you're faithful, when you have faith and something is going to happen, don't you get this like feeling in your stomach and this excitement? So it's the same, but it's on polar opposites of your brain. You know, do you ever question the things that you were taught when you were a kid? You know, there's a certain way you're supposed to act. There's a certain way you're supposed to dress. You're only supposed to speak when spoken to. You know, things like that. When you get to be an adult, do you ever start to question, you know, well, who taught them that, and who said that that was the right way to be? When I think about, you know, as a child, you know, speaking when spoken to, you know, and pausing when someone else is speaking, it is respect to allow someone else to finish their complete thought before you add to that. But have you ever had that time when you're trying to have a conversation with someone, and no matter what you say, they speak over you, or they have, no, that's wrong, this is the way that you do it. They have to be louder than you. They don't even let you complete a thought. And then you have that doubt within yourself of, am I being heard? Am I being seen? Why isn't this person respecting my thought process? And that creeps that doubt inside of yourself, and that makes you anxious within you, because your thought process is also important. But for some reason, they felt their thought process was more important and they needed to speak. There's times I'll be having conversations with someone and I'm in the middle of a sentence and I haven't even finished it. And you get this, well, now you know how I feel. Let me tell you this story about such and such. Sometimes I let it go, and sometimes I'll go, oh, okay, because I was finished explaining to you what my scenario was, what I was talking to you about. It's putting those boundaries up. It's being seen and being heard, and not having a fear of being wrong. Because when you look at doubt and worry, it's fear-based. You're afraid to do something. It's one of those things where everything is going along just fine in your day, and all of a sudden fear pops up, or fear, worry comes in. And I think to myself, wait a minute, let me grab my calendar. I don't think you were scheduled for today, but you just barged in to my energy. You just barged in to what was going on, and you made me fear something, and you made me worried about something. And it creates doubt within your own mind. So we tend to be highly critical of ourselves, and that's where that doubt and that worry comes in, because we are afraid to fail. But I also want to think about it. Are you afraid to succeed? What happens if you are successful in the thing that you are creating? What level does that now take you to? What aspirations does that now bring to you? What events is that now bringing into you? You know, when I'm thinking about this book tour that I'm about to embark in, I'm very excited about it. I wrote the book because of all of the questions that were, constantly given to me during readings, that fear of forgetting, that fear of, do my loved ones hear me? And that's why I say they're only a whisper away. And I think about how comfortable I am in the environment I am in right now, with the client base that I have, with the people who know me, with those who come to get a reading by me or come to the shop. And part of my fear is, what if this tour is successful? Then what? I've now raised the bar. Now what do I need to do to raise the bar again? I mean, I did do a second book on, your crystal addiction diary, on how to categorize your crystals. But what is the public, what are family members going to expect from me then? But more importantly, what am I going to expect from myself? I've now raised the bar if I've been successful. So I fear the failure of the book tour, no one showing up, no one buying books, no one coming to the galleries. But then I also fear, oh my gosh, what if I don't have enough books? What if there are too many people in the gallery? What if it sells out? What if people receive so many blessings from the gallery reading that my calendar blows up? What if no one comes through in the gallery reading and I'm a failure and I flop? You know, it's back and forth between the two. And again, I think about what's in my calendar. My calendar is not scheduled. Today I'm going to fear failure. Today I'm going to doubt success. Today I'm going to fear being successful. You know, it's that back and forth, like a tennis game almost. Sometimes the tennis ball flies over the net. Sometimes it goes into the net. Sometimes you have a good game. Sometimes you have a bad game. But that fear and that worry, it just creeps up. And it's faith-based in knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, that you are following the path that you need to follow. Well, what's my path? How do I know what my path is? I feel like the universe is this magnet that pulls us into the direction that we're going to be in. And I mean, sometimes, you know how when you put magnets like that are the same, you know, both negatives or both positives, where it pushes it away. I feel like when we reject moving forward, I feel like that negative magnet gets behind you in your negative energy field, and then it just pushes you in the direction that you need to go in. You have to have faith in knowing that God has a plan, that the universe has big plans for you, and it's okay for you to doubt that you don't know exactly what that path may be, but you have faith to know, I'm going to move in the direction that I feel drawn to. We all get that, that passion within us. I just feel the need to do. Well, follow that passion. With that passion comes the worry. What if I don't do it right? Here's the thing, you learn a lesson along the way of how not to do it the next time, how to be better at it the next time. But to me, it's always that I have to keep myself in check, because that fear, that doubt is not just based on failure, but it's also based on success. What if I'm successful? Then what? Then what do I do? Where's my path go then? How do I do more than what I'm already doing? So it's back and forth, it's back and forth. And it's believing in yourself. It's believing and knowing deep within yourself, God has a plan. I have been put on this earth for a reason. And I may not know what that reason is, but it is having the faith to trust your own instincts, prayerfully, in meditation, with careful thought, and in believing and having faith that what the outcome is what the outcome needs to be. It's not giving up. It's trying different things. It's allowing yourself permission. Belief is defined as an acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists. Trust, faith, or confidence in something or someone. I love that in the definition of belief is the word acceptance. Invite, right? We have to invite, and then we have to be invited, and then we have to accept that something is true. So believing that you have a true calling on this universe, it's accepting that. And even if you feel like your calling is small, it is still your calling. I have friends of mine who are stay-at-home moms. And when someone asks them, oh, what do you do for a living? They say, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. And they put that word just in there. No, you are a stay-at-home mom. You are blessed to be at home to raise your children. It's a very important thing. I was very career-minded. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but I didn't feel like that was my path. My kids knew I was always there for them in any moment and that I would walk through fire for them. But I felt like showing them the working part of it and also not really having a choice financially of staying home. So when you look at who you are, when you add that word just into it, oh, I'm just a blah. I just do this. When you put that word just, it's putting that doubt within yourself. No, I'm a teacher. I am a spiritual healer. I am a shop owner. I am a wife. I am a mother. It's putting I am, which to me is God. I am that I am. God has placed me to be where I am. Make sense? So it's giving yourself to have faith. It's giving yourself permission to have faith in yourself instead of doubt. Faith is just knowing that you know. It's that gut feeling that we talked about earlier. When we think about, when you get worried or anxious about something, you get that, that thickness in your throat or that rumbling in your stomach. Well, to me, that knowing is the same thing. You have that passion within you that, I just need to do this. So you've got to believe. Hold on, I lost my train of thought because I went on my little soapbox. Here's where I was going. Sorry. So when I sit in a reading with someone, so many times I have heard my clients say they are afraid they will forget the sound of their voice, their memories. I have so many clients say, I just want to know that they are okay. So here's where faith comes in. Know that you will remember exactly what you need to remember. You can spark those memories through photos, through journaling. That's why I did the 30-day grief recovery journal. Having faith in knowing that your loved one is okay. Their time on this earth plane has ended, but a new chapter has begun. So when I sit across from you in a reading, I have to have faith in knowing that God is going to give me the right words to say to you, to give you the evidence that your loved one is around you, that they're only a whisper away. Do I have fear in that sometimes? Goodness, every time I meditate before I do a reading, I think to myself, what if this is the one time that no one comes through? What if I hear nothing? What if no one comes through? But as soon as I connect to God, to faith, that fear dissipates. It leaves me. And I stand in faith that knowing that the messages that come through are the things that you need to hear, not necessarily the things that you feel that you want to hear. Just like when you are setting your intention to do something, know that the actions behind the things that you do are exactly the right things that you need to do at that particular moment in time. Will you make mistakes? Mm-hmm. But it'll make you better and it'll make you stronger so that you can continue your journey. And walking through that fear, walking through that doubt is through faith in knowing that tomorrow is another day. It's that faith in knowing that God is right here with me, making me stronger, helping me to work through the things that I need to work through. You know, we see signs. We see signs all the time that our loved ones leave us, that our guardian angels are around, that God is right here with us. But our human mind rationalizes, well, maybe I just miss my loved ones so much that I'm making this up in my head. And I heard someone say one time during a lecture, how many times does it have to be a coincidence before it's not a coincidence? How many times do you have to see? I mean, when my mom first passed, I would wake up at 2:11 in the morning, and that would probably happen for a week or two. And that's the time my mom left this earth and went on into spirit. And at first, it really bummed me out because of that fear of losing my mother, that fear of how am I going to live again without my mother. And I would think to myself, why would you wake me up at 2:11? Why is, what? Until I got to the point of faithfully knowing that God, that the angels, that my mom were waking me up at 2:11 in the morning in a celebration of when my mother went into her next chapter, in her new birthday, if you want to say, her rebirth day. And they wanted me to stand in celebration of that, knowing that she is okay. And it is seeing these signs, one of my clients sees dimes all the time. One of my cousins sees hearts, and it's in the clouds. It's rocks. My husband went. He brought me back this heart rock when he was at the lake a couple years ago. It's these signs of knowing that God is sending to you, that your angels and guides are sending you, and that your loved one is sending you. And was I afraid of living my life without my mother? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny how we just lost my aunt last week. She was 93 years old. God bless her, And I'm sad at the fact that I will no longer see my aunt again, but I have faith in knowing I will see my aunt again. Do you ever think about when someone passes away in your life who was the matriarch of the family, who was in charge of getting everyone together, that when they pass, when you try to get everybody together, it's not the same, or it's a little bit of a struggle. I swear, if my mother would put together something in, you've got 10 minutes notice, everybody would rally and everybody would show up. You would drop whatever you were doing and you would be there. And I'm not talking like in case of emergency. I'm talking about a picnic. Mom calls today and says, you know what, tomorrow we're going to have a picnic. I need you to bring so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. People would show up. I try and put things together and it's like, oh, I can't because I have this and yeah. And I'm like, what? Like, I need to, I need to channel my mother's energy so that people are like, oh, Stacy's putting something together. But when you lose that matriarch, you have that fear that the family is going to fall apart. But you have to have faith in knowing that it's not going to fall apart. You just have to keep working at it. I will not give up trying to constantly get all of my kids and all of my grandkids together. I've been working on, let's do this on a monthly basis and, switch houses and, we do it for 2 months and then we don't. And but you know what? I have faith in knowing that if I ever needed my kids, phone call away, they would be here. I know that. They've proven that over and over and over again. So, let's see, where am I at? I got on that. So, walking through the fear and the doubt and not giving it a place to stay within your mind, not allowing it to make a home within your energy. It's answering the call of what drives you? What are you passionate about? What are you questioning? Why am I questioning it? And is it fear, doubt, or faith? So we're looking at fear versus faith. It's the opposite ends of the spectrum. I have faith that this is going to work out. I have fear that it's not going to work out, or I fear that it is going to work out. So when I'm looking at this, my husband and I had a conversation the other night about, what did he call it? He called it self-centered fear. And it's that fear of losing a part of yourself, or it's that fear of losing something that you're holding on to tightly. It's self-centered. It's centered around myself. What do I fear that I'm going to lose? Am I going to lose my dignity? Am I going to lose family members? Am I going to lose respect? Am I going to lose love? What am I holding on to so tightly that it is self-centered? And when I think about that, the word jealousy pops into my head because, there are times I am envious or I'm jealousy of what other people have, of their success, of their, oh my gosh, I can't believe you invented this. And then I think to myself, is it jealousy? Is it envy? Or is it respect? And I have these ping pong matches in my head all the time because I always want to try and stay as humble as possible. And I would like to think that I am going to support those that are around me. But do I get envious or jealous sometimes? I do, because you think, why not me? But then on the other hand, you think, why me? Right? So, am I making sense? I'm not seeing any comments, so I'll have to look later. But it's all fear-based and faith-based. You just have to choose where you want it to be. That beginning quote says, doubt works deep within you like a disease. It just kind of, covers your body. This quivering feeling of doubt and of fear. But effectively, so does faith. Do you ever get the warm tingles of just knowing this is the right thing? I'll be talking to someone about something and all of a sudden I'll get goosebumps or I'll get tingles. I'll feel that warm blanket, that light over me that I know is God just shedding his light and his love around me. So we do have a choice, fear and doubt or faith and passion. It's where you choose to sit. Are you afraid to be successful? Are you afraid that something is going to work? Or are you afraid that it's not going to work? What is that nucleus? It's that self-centeredness. What are you afraid of losing? Or what are you afraid of gaining? It's allowing yourself to stay humble. And if you talk about how humble you are, then are you really humble? Right? It's back and forth and back and forth. I love deep conversations like this. I love things where you kind of battle back and forth in your mind and you're like, I never really thought of it that way. Am I really afraid of failing, or am I really afraid of succeeding? And then what does that look like? Because if I fail, then I have to try another path. I have to learn the lesson and do it a different way. If I am successful, now I have just raised the bar. Fear, faith, doubt, right? Success. So, let's see. So because fear and faith sway you back and forth. They are that thought process within your head. Doubt and fear soar through our minds, but don't let it get rooted within you. Because fear is based on the unknown. And instead of fearing the unknown, try to embrace the unknown. Because you have faith in knowing that the unknown is going to be spectacular. Did you ever think that you would be in the place that you are right now? It's being thankful for the things that you were given every single day. Walking through the fear and the doubt, growing, loving, accepting faith. And it's hard to have faith without seeing what you're having faith in. But you're not going to see that thing until you have faith. Faith is seeing, but faith is believing. You're not going to see it until you have faith. Make sense? So, faith versus fear. What do you choose? I choose faith. Do I roll around in fear? I absolutely do. And I try and stop myself when I roll around in that doubt, in that fear. Because our minds take us into so many different places that we're just not sure where we're going to end up. There's that unknowing. There's where that fear jumps in. Where am I going to land? There's a quote, and I can't remember who said it. It may be Zig Ziglar, but I'm not sure. But it says, leap and have faith to know that the net will catch you. If not now, when? We talk about that all the time. Are you going to wait until you're 80 or 90 years old and think to yourself, man, I wish I would have done this. Why didn't I do this? I had this passion to do this, but I was afraid. Leap and have the faith to know that the net will catch you. It's trying new things, having faith within yourself, having faith in others instead of fearing it. And if something happens that it doesn't work out the right way, you know what? At least you freaking tried it. You can at least cross it off of your to-do list of, well, never going to do that again. There are so many things that I want to experience within my life. And there are so many things that I have experienced that sometimes I'll say, I'll try that again. And then there are other things that I'm like, won't do that again. You know, years ago, I went to I guess it was like a NASCAR race. See, I'm so ignorant about it. I would have known less about what I was doing and where I was at had the announcer been speaking in a language I didn't understand. Because at the beginning of the race, I you know, that first car, that second car, that third car, you know, you can follow them. But by the, you know, third, fourth, it's just like, I don't know what, I don't know how many times they've gone around. I don't know who's in the lead. But I experienced it once. Will I ever go back again? Probably not, but I experienced it once. The ballet, I experienced it once. Will I ever go back again? Probably not. I have come to the conclusion that I am not adult enough or mature enough to go to the ballet. It's a beautiful work of art, but it's not for me, but I experienced it. And then there are other things that I have done that I'm like, man, I will do that again. I will go back to Arizona over and over and over again. I will write another book. I will, you know, it's experiencing those things and then choosing whether to do it again. It's not letting fear get in the way. It's having faith enough in yourself to say, you know what, I'll try it once and see what happens. And then I will make the decision whether I will try it again. So when I look at that quote, there we go. When I look at that quote, and I can't remember who wrote it. Hold on, I have to get back to that place. Emile Cioran, and I guess it's Cioran, it's Cioran, said, doubt works deep within you like a disease, or even more effectively, like a faith. You can faithfully doubt yourself. You can faithfully worry about every single thing. That can become your faith, your religion, your go-to. Do you have a friend who just, oh my gosh, just drama is always with them, and no matter where they go or what they do, drama is always around them. They thrive on drama. I thrive on laughter. I thrive on peacefulness. What do you thrive in? What makes your faith stronger? In you, in the universe, in the things to come. Sitting down, meditating, getting quiet, and figuring these things out allows you to not let doubt become your religion. Why do you want to be stuck in doubt and fear and anxiety and in depression and in just thinking that you're not worthy? God made you for a reason. It is getting out of doubt and working on faith, believing in yourself. 1 minute at a time, 1 second at a time, 1 day at a time, however long it takes. Knowing that you did the best that you could with the knowledge that you had at the time. How many freaking times do you hear me say that? Changing your perspective so the outcome will change. How many times do you hear me say that? I say it to myself all the time. When I was going through rough times when my kids were smaller, my God serves my needs according to his riches and his glory. His riches and his glory. Not my riches, his glory. My God serves my needs according to his. And I would say it over and over and over again until whatever was making me anxious, whatever would somehow this worry switch would click off when I would finally say, according to his riches and his glory, not mine. He's doing this for me. I need to see it. I need to acknowledge it. I need to boldly walk through faith, not through sight. It's constantly telling yourself these things. It gets easier and then it gets harder. And then it gets easier and then it gets harder. But it is recognizing the things that trigger you to fall into this doubt. Is your employer constantly doubting you? Let's think about that for a second. Every time you do something, do they feel the need to come in and say, it would have been better if you would have done it like this? Did I get to the end result? Respectfully say, did I get to the end result that you were looking for? Yes, you did. Then I did it the best way that I could with the knowledge that I had at the time, not meaning to hurt anyone. I am open and willing to learn different ways. But I cannot doubt the way that I did the thing that I did to get to that outcome, right? Do your parents, do family members constantly doubt you, put you down, disregard you? If they do, it's time to take a step back and say, you know what? People are put into my life, and you hear this from me all the time again, for a reason, for a season, for a life. Sometimes you need to back away from those people. Find yourself, find your center. And that finding yourself and finding your center is not based on the thoughts and the actions of someone else. You're responsible for your own thoughts and actions. And if the people around you do not support your thoughts and your actions, and your thoughts and actions are for the best intentions, let me just add that, then maybe those people that are around you do not need to be around you anymore. Sometimes the most critical people around you are the ones that are the most insecure, and it makes them feel better, bigger, higher, if they degrade the people that are around them. I don't understand that. I have a hard time understanding why some people go to depths to make family and friends feel this big. I don't understand it. Our job as family and friends is to raise people up in their situations. And if you disagree with what the actions that they're doing, talk to them about it lovingly. But first, you have to think to yourself, is it really any of my business? Is it any of my business how they're raising their children? Are their children fed, clothed, taken care of, well loved? Then it's none of my business that the child doesn't have a bedtime. Do the children go to school? Are the children happy? Then it is none of my business. Unless this person comes to me and says, hey, I need some advice. I need some help. What would you do if? And it is shutting your mouth long enough to listen to the full conversation from this person before you give them advice. That was always a tricky thing for me. When someone would come to me with something, in my head, I was thinking of a solution, assuming that the reason that they are coming to me is because they are stuck and they need a solution. What ended up happening with that was the person who was talking to me was not able to completely release the full conversation because I was cutting them off and saying, well, here's what you should do, and here's what you should do, and here's what... And without even realizing it, I was not fully embracing the situation. They had not really asked me for help. They were just coming to me to tell me something. So when I was offering my suggestions inadvertently, I was saying to them, you did it all wrong. Here's how you do it. Oh, here's what you should do. So I got to the point when someone comes, and you'll notice me do this if you come and have a conversation with me. I still do it. If someone comes to me to talk to me about it, I will put my fingers over my mouth. Just, stand with my arms kind of crossed, holding my hand, or you'll see me, kind of, rubbing my finger around my mouth to consciously say to myself, it's not your time to talk, it's your time to listen. And then once I feel that person is finished speaking, I'll remove my hands and say, I'm sorry that this is happening to you. Waiting for them to respond to, thank you so much for listening, or, oh my gosh, I need help. How would you handle this? There are times when I talk to my kids where I really have to consciously put my, my hands over my mouth, because as mom, I've got all the answers, and there are times where I'll say, well, what are you going to do about it? And they will either respond with an answer of what they feel they're going to do about it, or they'll say, I don't know, or they're like, what do you think I should do about it? It's allowing them to embrace their adulthood. It's showing that I have faith in them, that they can make the decision. Even if I, deep within, am worried about them, I have to show them that faith. So faith versus fear. What is going to be your faith? Your faith in believing that I can, or that faith in doubting that I can? Because it works the same way. You can be faithfully positive, you can be faithfully negative. That is your choice. They work hand in hand. But it is taking those moments in time to stop and pause and think, what am I being faithful to? Am I being faithful to self-care for myself? Or am I totally ripping myself apart? There are times when, something small happens around me. And I know it happens with you all too. And it festers around in my mind. And I have these conversations in my head of why this is happening. And it may start this big, but by the end of the day, it's huge. And the whole world is against me. And, my family and this. And I have to stop. Oh my gosh, stop. And I'll pray, and ask God to show me the answers. Put me on the right path. I'll call in Archangel Michael to say, oh my gosh, stop my head from spinning out of control. Because that's exactly what it is. Am I going to be faithful to allowing my mind to go out of control and take all the blame of all of the world and all of the things that are happening? Or am I going to faithfully pray to find a solution? Walk the walk, talk the talk. Right? So, faith versus fear. This to me was a big, it was a big epiphany to me years ago. And it still continues to be an epiphany, because even last night when I read that quote, doubt works deep within you like a disease, or even more effectively, like a faith. I'm like, first when I read it I was thinking doubt, works deep within you, or you can have faith. But the more I read it, the more I thought about it. Doubt is a faith. It's a habit. We habitually doubt ourselves. We worry ourselves, in an incredible amount of things, where we get to the point where we've defeated ourselves so much that we feel like we have no worth. we've lost faith in ourselves. You know, it's sad, but we do it all to ourselves every day. You know, there's constantly something, and maybe it's not every day, let's say every week. There's something that we doubt. There's something that we are afraid of. There's something that we worried about. And like I said, when worry creeps in, I'm like, I get my calendar out and I'm like, wait a minute, you weren't scheduled today. We don't have a session for worry today. Why am I worried about this? And that's what I have to question myself. Why is this worrying me? Well, it's worrying me because it affects my children. How does it affect my children? Well, I roll it back until I get to the point where I'm like, do I have control over this worry? Is there something I can do about it? Is there something I should do about it? Because just because I can do something about it doesn't mean I should, because maybe it's none of my business. Maybe it's something that my kids need to work out for themselves and I have to wait for them to come to me and go, Mom, help, right? But I have to faithfully work on the positive aspects of life, to believe that I am following the path that is being put in front of me. I have to accept that invitation to walk that path. I have to accept that it is the true path and not doubt it and not worry about it. Easier said than done. I doubt myself all the times. I worry about things all the time. And it's in those moments of doubt and of worry that I get epiphanies, because I stop myself and go, why am I worried about this? Why do I doubt this? What good can come of this? What bad can come of this? How does the good outweigh the bad? Is there something I would, should, could do about it? Faith versus fear. What are you faithful to? So, doubt works deep within you like a disease, or even more effectively, like faith. Allow yourself to faithfully believe in yourself. Accept the invitation to grow, to expand, to put your toe in that cold water, to leap and know that the net will find you. So, today, that is my message to you, to ponder faith versus fear. Are you fearful or are you faithful? And are you faithful to fear? It sounds like, I can't think what you call a riddle. It sounds like a riddle, you know? How is a writing desk like a raven, you know? Ooh, how is fear like faith? It is a riddle. And it's that riddle that will help you expand your learning and know that there is a plan. There is a roadmap. The roadmap is within you. Follow it. There's caution signs. There's construction signs. There's stop signs. There's rolling hills. There's speed bumps. But also there are beautiful plains around you. Beautiful mountains. Beautiful scenery. I'm using this like a driving experience if you hadn't noticed. Beautiful skies, beautiful trees, beautiful flowers. It's seeing the beauty. It's being faithful to raising your own energy, to expanding your mind process, to relieving doubt and worry, and being faithful. Okay, guys, that is my talk for today. I feel like I was on a little bit of a soapbox, and I love each and every one of you for hanging out with me today. Next Tuesday at 10:30, who knows what we'll talk about next Tuesday. If you have a suggestion, let me know, and I will prayerfully consider it and work on it. So a lot of exciting events that are coming up, a lot of different galleries, intimate group readings, some private readings. I'll be back in Bel Air. The book tour is coming up, so stay tuned about that. But today, as every day, I pray that you all are living the life you love, or loving the light and loving the life you live. If not, you're the only one that can change it. I will talk to you next Tuesday at 10:30. My name is Stacy Niedenthal. This is Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. Peace out. I love you all so much, and I will see you next week. All right.